This is Vahki6, a modeler who shows his stuff on DeviantArt and sells them on Shapeways, not to mention that he's also a thief. I didn't know about the past action with him and other people, mainly because I was busy with other stuff. However, it was brought to my attention of him downright stealing the work of another modeler, King K. He made some minor changes and calling it his own, while selling a small and big size version. The funny thing about this is, he made it painfully obvious. And when the King K found out about this, oh boy, he DMCA'd that bitch. Because of that, Vahki6 made this journal defending himself.
So, I'm usually not into writing, especially when I'm not easy with another language than mine, but things seems to become important today. First of all, I hate drama. Really. It's not healthy in general, but it's kind of destructive on me. See, I'm on the autistic spectrum. I'm not as strong as people usually are. Annoyances, arguments, are knives to my mind. I won't eat, I won't sleep for months. I'm unable to forget what's bothering me. A single word can easily destroy me. And I feel alone, isolated, every day white, like sitting in a burning house waiting to die at last.
Now, as a fellow person with autism, this is obviously being used to get pity points to have people feel bad for him right off the bat. The people who try to get pity points like those on apology videos are those who know they're in the wrong. Heck, can you imagine this journal as a video with depressing music?
In fact, there's few things that help me going day by day, modeling and 3D printing. I got not such reasons to be proud of myself in my life, but I finally managed to reach a hobby I can be proud of.
And good on you, doing something you enjoy.
Timidly began in 2014, working silently, being known more and more in the bionicle community. It's been a year people decided to destroy me and my work. Today, my Candoiolacy post has been took down and I know why, because someone can't stand competition, and it's unfair.
Alright, let's take a look at the two masks side by side. So the left is King K's and the right is Vahki6's. Is it strange how they look exactly alike with clear minor changes? Not to mention that Vahki6's came out after King K's, which his model was placed up on the Thingiverse. Made on November 22nd, downloadable and licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial and Share alike. Not to mention that in the description of Vahki6's mask, which can't be seen anymore because it's taken down, but he brought up King K's mask by breaking up Thingiverse, which is the only Kanohi Elysis on there.
Let's rewind a little. 1 year ago was King K, alias Brian Kong. I met him on the Facebook group Mask Posting, and he was a lot into 3D print, like me, because I preferred selling my models in my shop and he was sharing any model he could find like Santa at Christmas. I had some pressure from the community, who began believing every Bionicle 3D model should be free for all. I accepted and released a few models, including the Rashi spine base. I noticed later Brian used it for selling his spine's designs on his new shop. Worst, he was savagely using BNG assets.
And what's wrong with using the base spine piece? It's a connection originally made by Lego. In fact, you pretty much help a bunch of modelers to create and make their own spine, which King K did just that. If he actually took the spine you made that had Lego pieces on and selling them, I would understand the complaint and sided with you. Now the BNG assets, I can only assume use them for stuff is translation for do whatever the hell you want with it. I asked King K about this, and he has permission to use them from a BNG member. He made sure people know about this.
Alright, so here's that question I was a bit iffy on. You said you wouldn't say much about this topic early on. But Gary asked, so is it a coincidence these look like Kuhan's designs or with 2 R's?
Okay, a little thing to point out about that. So the staffs, I will admit, those staffs were originally made for the Bionicle Next Generation project, which I heavily modified to make them 3D printable. That was just for wave 1 though. Okay, so those staffs, they are from that Bionicle Next Generation project. And I have asked permission from some of the former members of the Bionicle Next Generation project to basically have these staffs on Shapeways. And they gave me the thumbs up. So I'm in good terms with them.
Though they are no longer on his shop, he brought up that he took them down because they were outdated, and may make a new version in the future from scratch. Also funny, he says that as he has BNG staffs on his shop.
I tried to talk with him politely, saying I would never demand to take down those models, but it was not cool. Never answered. Next day, I woke up with a witch hunt on my ass. Brian and the group owner, Hector Figueroa, builded up some investigation about me, saying I was a mass model thief. Everything on my shop was stolen.
Yeah, with those pictures I showed, it's extremely clear that he have indeed stole the assets from LDD, Stud.io, Steam, LD-Wall, and Thingiverse. Hell, even just straight up took the file and calling it his own.
I was in the RSG Discord at this time. Brian made me kicked out without any word or asking any explanation. I had all the community after me, trying to shut down and report everything I worked on. I heard Brian tried to rally guys in every server he could find to harass me. Because of him, I received threats, insults in every possible way.
Which, if true, Vahki would have showed it. I mean, seriously, it isn't harder to upload things to Google Drive and show it. Like what I'm doing right now, link in the description.
I was already morally weak because I was struggling with personal health problems. I could have done worse than quit modeling. In fact, I almost did worse. Way worse.
The more I read this, the more it reminds me of my ex who just saying things for attention. If he didn't want this to happen, then he shouldn't have brought this on himself.
The guy tried to destroy me in every way he could, even creating memes about me stealing things. I tried to prove my innocence. I provided evidences showing my work was original and his was stolen. No one listened to me. Nobody wanted to. I even had reports on my non-bionicle models. If I didn't had the Mask Makers Discord in my life, it could have been worse. For months, Brian prospered in the light and nobody seemed to see that his shop was full of stolen models. He even said he didn't believe the Rashi spine base was mine, because it was too advanced or proper to be my work. He really tried to pass BNG work and mine as his own.
Again, barking and no biting. He says there's yet to show no proof when a Google Drive folder can easily be made, put all the chat log he have with King K, and show it. But he's not doing any of that. And he wonder why I and others are believing King K over him.
Also, do I have to mention his actions against Zero Naku and RSG when they noticed the BNG scandal?
This is mainly about Vahki6 and King K, so I'll make these two journals quick. King K commissioned Onuku to make these masks and ask for the file for animation, which in these messages he did. Not to mention that it's also his design, as said by Onuku himself. Mistakes were made and King K was forgiven. Obviously that was a lie, as this is still up. Hasn't been edited with a new journal made to let people know that things has been resolved. Not to mention it was brought up again in the other journal. As for the RSG, in King K's side of the story is that there were only 2 BNG assets used. A Maton and a mask were used in a tutorial file to teach rigging a character. To dab. There were questions of copyright authority claims over all the BNG assets. In reality, the only one who owns it is the 3D modeler who made them. Maprox, the owner of them, allowed people to do whatever they want with it, as he shared it on the TTV message board. As for the mask, King K was one of 2 contributors to the RSG Shape Race Forge. If he was kicked out, aka he left, and no contract was made that states any and all mask King K made now belongs to RSG, it's not their mask anymore. The model belongs to him, that the copyright is also shared with the concept artist, Umatu. So yeah, they are fan art. Not to mention giving them for free, not selling. If he wants to be an asshole, he would actually sell them.
Today, King K seemed to calm down, designing his masks in his way, and I kept working on mine. His felony was known at last, although it didn't wash my name. Recently, I found out an old WIP I forgot and believed to be lost, an Ola C model.
Use found just about the time King K uploaded his mask.
It wasn't an advanced work, but I had more skills than old times. I worked on it more seriously than I ever did. Mask Maker's Discord saw me working on it at every stage, advising me many times.
Yes, saw pictures of the progress. While in the description you brought up Thinky First. Clearly that you download and or trace it.
But when it was finally done, after weeks of intense work in an attempt to escape my mind and my panic crisis, I was worried about the timing. I couldn't ignore that I wasn't the first one to upload an Ola C model to print on Shape4. King K indeed did, and that wouldn't be my first time being falsely accused of plagiarism. No matter that the original Ola C design is owned by the Lego company and no one else.
So the question is, did you ask Lego about you selling these masks? Unlikely, and likely they don't know about it. And again, copyright. It's right there in the license. While it's made for a dead Lego IP, the people who model still own the work they made.
I feared that he would come to take a shit on my border and remind me how I hate him. I took the risk, because it's not a crime for 2 people to work on the same artistic theme. Today, a DMCA notice informed me that the Ola C model was took down and the 2 models are currently down, and Shape4. Why is it a problem? Because taking a DMCA on a DeviantArt account got a price. This is the 2nd time someone chewed on my work because of hate. At the 3rd time, my account will simply be erased. May I be right or not? I'll lost everything because I got more to lose than him.
He say that like it's his job or something. He can easily make a new account, move to Flickr, Twitter, and places like those. Or, you know, get a job.
Let's say what's important. Fighting is exhausting and sure will destroy me one day faster than any of you, but I'll fight. I filed a DMCA counter notification, and may I lose, I'll come back as long as I can open a new DeviantArt account. I will not let anyone take from me one of the last thing in my life that makes me happy to be alive. If Lego wants me to retire, I'll do without asking.
Again, do they know about the shop that he's selling the mask they made? Because I'm very sure if they know about this, they'll have it taken down as soon as possible. Also, there are other things besides just Bionicle stuff to do. In the past, he done other things, like Skyrim and Iron Man. If he's a fan of Warframe, he can do Tenogen stuff and get a chance of his work to be in the game and get royalty. Be a modeler for projects of games, mod, and short animations. There's so much other things to do than just Bionicle.
But no particular person got the right to strike me for doing what he does himself, especially if the person shows no respect for anything that doesn't come along his way. Taking down my work by surprise without a warning or simply left a note as low. I work hard. No one will take this from me.
He doesn't want it to be taken away from him, yet have stolen stuff as part of a number of his work and selling them, especially ones from Lego. If he didn't want this to get worse, well, he should have kept things private between him, King K, and their stress relief buddies. But he didn't, and the comment is a shithole. Me and others made comments on his journal. In my comment, I brought up how him breaking up his autism was a way to get pity points, the side-by-side comparison, and that you can easily find a King K mask easily when googling Kanohi Olisi. But he acted like I didn't read all the journal entirely, yet he ignores the thingy verse I brought up and it being under license, thinking that King K sent me when I actually joined in because of my dislike for thieves. And he used the SJW card to just shut down the argument, which is funny because that's what SJWs do of using cards to just shut down arguments. Which, by the way, is a out of nowhere reply. I mean, come on, we're talking about thievery here, not how friends is losing their minds. And he removed my reply about him ignoring my arguments. Besides the comments that sided with Vahki6, the other comments are basically like mine and what I said in this video. Also, I'm sure the Big Daddy Lego is gonna be the meme that comes out of this. However, Vahki6 bring up that the evidence is in Discord. Why he didn't screenshot and upload, I will never know, but King Sid did do just that. However, only one date was shown, the one I have shown that he started working on it 4 days after King K's was uploaded. In the start, the cylinder is very noticeable of a change, which look like what King K had on his, but a change on the December 4th picture. And here's what I got with a little Photoshop magic. Clearly did some stretching and moving places. Oh, and Petrus, if you're seeing this by any chance, you've forgotten that cutting parts exist. I could just end here. This is mainly about Vahki6 and King K, so I'll make these 2 journals quick. But with this thief and me coming back just for this, I'm gonna make sure I Thanos snap this boy. Now, Vahki6 claims he made all the models on his own from scratch. However, this is a complete lie, as he have been using assets from LDD, Stud.io, and LDWAR. This is pretty obvious from his worksheet stuff and the Bionicle minifigure weapons. It's very easy to port things from LDD to Stud.io to places like Blender and do stuff like what he did to the Leva blades, Mata blades, this shield piece, and etc. The Krona and Kanoka are just straight up downloaded from LDWAR and he claims it as his own work. And on the legal info, it's said to give credit to the original author, which Vahki6 did not do. But those are not the only places, and King K isn't the only person he took from. The 2006 prototype Enigma mask was also taken from someone else on Steam, which that person got it off from Bionicle Heroes files. As you can see from the side-by-side view with that same mask on Blender, they look exactly alike. There's also a 2008 Enigma mask that was also taken from Steam as well. He as well took work from a guy named Cyberhand, who is the original creator of the open mouth Wakshi head. In fact, this one is the most obvious, as how the two pic Vahki6 showed of the 3D model for the head parts is completely different from all the other with the black outline and the shape race window. Not to mention Cyberhand is showing a picture of a set head onto the custom head for it. Something that Vahki6 hasn't shown in 3D, but it printed. He also took a BNG member Kanohi Motatu, which seems that Vahki6 re-uploaded the mask on a shape race, as the link shared in this chat leads to the version not for sale. Now in these messages, Vahki6 say that he had these models he used long before the BNG files were shared, yet he only sharing these now back in 2016, not to mention that the BNG files were shared in 2014, and he said he worked on them since 2015. He say it been made from ground zero, yet a lot of stuff he have looks exactly like what others made and made before him. Now, there may be a very small amount of Vahki6 original, but there are so much of anyone could make and stolen work that I can't tell if he even does have any original work. Like, recently I found out that he also took and modified another before King K. Despite Vahki6 being a big improvement, the Noble Hahu look a lot like the one made by Green Tourmaline, while the other one by King K is very different. And since Shape Race doesn't have a date, I have to look at the first comment to see who made theirs first. Also, I don't know why anyone want to give their Noble Hahu to a baby hippo, but you do you, I guess. The evidence that are shown make it very clear that Vahki6 is a thief, unless he's able to counter these evidence, but many people in their eyes will see him as a thief, and will grow over time. With this video boosting that, but honestly I can't see him countering it unless he actually show his proof and not basically telling people to go find it themselves. But now all of you are shown evidence and King K side of the story, since many people right off the bat believe this guy without a second thought. So whose side are you guys on with this? You already know my side. Leave it in the comments below.